Would you please remain standing as Joy Castro leads us in the singing of O Canada?
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Joy. Will everyone please be seated? My name is Martin Gerson. I'm the Vice President Academic and Provost of Langara College, and it is my really great pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies this morning and to welcome you all, graduands, friends and family, faculty, and special guests to this Langara College graduation celebration. At this time, I would like to invite anyone who is standing in the back to move forward to any seats that remain empty. I can't really see very much with all these lights in my eyes right now, but on my way in, I noticed there was a section of seats available just behind the graduands over here on what would be your right. And if you want to move forward and fill in that area, that would be great. Before we get into the ceremony itself, please let me take care of a few announcements. First of all, please be aware that this ceremony is being videoed to allow guests in the overflow room to view the ceremony. And also, we have live streaming of the ceremony on our website. So portions of this video may also be used on the college's website to promote participation in future graduation ceremonies. And finally, I would like to remind everybody to turn off your cell phones, Blackberries, or anything else that might make noise and disrupt the ceremony. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce the members of our platform party. And I would ask each of them to stand up as their name is called and then sit down again so that they're not blocking the view of others. Dr. David Ross, President and Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Gwyn Grauer, Board Governor. Ms. Lynn Carter, President of the Langara Faculty Association. Mr. Doug Sue, retired Dean of Continuing Studies and today's keynote speaker. Ms. Teresa Liu, Board Governor. Dr. Mark Smith, Board Governor and Chair of our Interdisciplinary Studies Department. Ms. Gerda Kraus, Board Governor, Education Council Chair and Division Chair of Mathematics and Sciences. Dr. Ian Humphreys, Associate Vice President of Student Development and Marketing. Mr. Roy Dakin, Vice President of Administration and Finance. Ms. Deanna Douglas, Vice President of Enrollment Management. Ms. Sue Street, Executive Director of College Advancement. Ms. Margaret Heldman, Dean of the Faculty of Science. Dr. Julie Longo, Dean of the Faculty of Arts. Mr. Ian McBain, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Management. Ms. Linda Arnold, Associate Vice President Academic. Dr. Linda Turner, Continuing Studies Program Manager of Health and Human Services. Ms. Margot McLaren, an instructor in modern languages. Ms. Kathy Stossel, Department Chair, Early Childhood Education. Ms. Mary Jane Joe, an instructor in Aboriginal Studies and an elder from the Musqueam Nation, on whose traditional territory we're very pleased to be. Ms. Shelley Wright, Coordinator of Aboriginal Studies. Mr. Wesley Regan, Langara Alumni Association Board Member. Ms. Charlotte French, Registrar and Director of Enrollment Management. Mr. Pierre-André Saintin, Director of Information Technology. Ms. Gayleen Wren, Division Chair of Community Programs. And finally, Mr. Daniel Thorpe, Dean of Continuing Studies. I'm now pleased to call upon Dr. David Ross, President of Langara College.
Well, good morning. I was going to say that's a pretty sleepy bunch we're starting out with. But good morning, board members, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Langara's 46th Convocation. This is an important day, a day where we recognize student success, hard work, and outstanding achievement. From the quality of the graduands we have in front of us, it's easy to believe in education and the power that education has to transform. Now, for the Langara graduating class of 2012, you are leaving us at a time, I believe, of great opportunity. You really only have to look at the results from Canada's most recent census to understand how large this opportunity is. In the most straightforward of terms, there are more people retiring than new people entering the labor force. This, coupled with any new jobs or opportunities created by an economic expansion, and I think you can quickly see that the opportunities will be substantial. Now, this may be tempered by longer careers or later retirements, but make no mistake, there will be more opportunities available for you, skilled people, for you to fill in the years to come. Now, this is going to evolve a bit over time, so as you form your networks and build your communities, how are you going to take full advantage of all of this has to offer? Well, I would suggest you're off to a good start. To help realize, though, your full potential, you have many advantages. You have been exposed to more knowledge and understanding than any class before you. And as our resource economies shift, you'll live at a time when your ability to access knowledge will be the currency of the day. One challenge we do face is that the future is perhaps not yet here. So understand that the skills that you'll require to take full advantage of what the future has to offer are still in part unknown. So you need a plan. Stay aware. Maximize your ability to adapt and develop, because rest assured the world around you won't wait. Take advantage of this, and it'll aid you in experiencing more than any generation before you, and be leaders of opportunities we don't yet understand. This also means that for many of you, this will not be your last graduation. So Change will likely require you to engage, I believe, in learning your entire life. So embrace it, enjoy it, plan for it, so that you can take full advantage of what it has to offer. Now, I also want to challenge you. I would suggest that education isn't just about careers and knowledge. It also means a better understanding and a broader world context. It's important today, more than ever, to obtain ideas, obtain perspective and texture on a world stage, but create and innovate in the communities we live and serve in. Act on this. Become the leader in the community that you define. Access ideas, cultures, discussions from around the world, and claim your participation as a global citizen. Now, I'd also like to thank all of the parents, all of the families and friends that have supported and sacrificed to help today's graduates to this beginning. You all need to know that your involvement is very important and closely related to the success of these learners. I think I can speak on behalf of all of the graduates in thanking you for all you've done and will continue to do as they take their first steps. Now, to the graduates, you'll soon be Langara alumni. I invite you to be active alums, to help support future learners, and build your network in the broader Langara community. John Maxwell may have said it best. Successful and unsuccessful people don't vary greatly in their abilities. They vary in their desires to reach their potential. I look forward to hearing about all that you achieve. Congratulations again. Live the life you imagine. Enjoy this day and look forward to all that is to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. I'd now like to ask Mr. Quinn Grauer to bring a message from the Langara College Board of Governors.
Dr. Ross, family, friends, faculty and staff, and most importantly, the graduates of the college. It is my honor to bring you the words of greeting from the Board of Governors of Langara College. And I am delighted to join you here today in celebrating the culmination of all your hard work that has allowed you to be here today, because it's important that you got to this day. I want to give to you the motto, the words in the motto of the college, freedom through knowledge. And they strike me because they're very simple words, but in their simplicity they can be a bit deceiving because we may not often stop and think about them. But whether you realize it or not, they're the reason you're here today. Because to gain the knowledge and the skills that you have here, that is what will allow you to leave this place and go on in your future endeavors and create the life that you want for yourself, the career that you want for yourself. And it's very important that when you get out there and the hours seem long, and they will, and the work seems real tough, and it will, you'll get to that point, to think back to this day and to remember those words and to say, I'm doing this because I want the ability to create a life for myself that I see for myself and not let anyone else make those decisions for me. And that is why that today is a very joyous day, because you have made that decision, whether you realize it or not, to come to this college and start that journey. And here you are at the culmination of that process. And it's just the beginning of the process. You're going to be moving on to different endeavors. And as you move on to the next steps, keep those words with you. Keep them close to you. Freedom through knowledge. Because when you get, because when you keep those words close to you, they won't lead you astray, and they will allow you to create a journey for yourself that you can be proud of. So on behalf of the board, I want to say that we are very proud of you for making it here, and we congratulate you on getting to this day, and we offer the most sincerest successes to you in your future journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Quinn. I would now like to ask Ms. Lynn Carter to bring greetings from the faculty. Lynn.
Thank you, Martin. Board members, Dr. Ross, honored elder from the Musqueam First Nation, honored guests, colleagues, and graduates. On behalf of the faculty, it is my pleasure to extend to all of you our very best wishes on this special day. We understand and we appreciate the efforts and, for many of you, the sacrifices that you've made in order to achieve what you have today. As faculty members, we've had the privilege of being a part of your educational journey here at Langara. We've enjoyed watching your development and contributing to that process. Watching you learn, seeing you master new ideas and skills is one of the greatest satisfactions that we have as faculty. It's capped only by seeing your success today. We've enjoyed both teaching and learning from you. Our work with students is always a reciprocal process, and we thank you for that. Some of you will be going on to jobs and others to further study. Many of you will be doing both. We thank you for having chosen to study with us here at Langara, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Lynn. Now I give you President Ross again, who will present awards to graduating students and will also introduce our convocation speaker. David.
Thank you, Dr. Gerson. Well, it gives me great pleasure at this point in the proceedings to recognize two outstanding students. Now, the Langara College Graduate Excellence Award in Arts and Science programs is awarded to the student graduating from an arts and science program with the highest cumulative grade point average. I am pleased to present the 2012 Langara College Graduate Excellence Award in Arts and Science to Katerina Slater. Katerina, can you join me up on stage, please? Katerina has an Associate of Arts degree in psychology with a GPA of 4.04. The faculty refer to her as a model student, and her high standing is a result of dedication, enthusiasm, and commitment to her studies. Her advice to students is that all it takes is a dream, commitment, and lots of discipline. After Langara, she plans on attending UBC to further her studies in psychology, with her sights set on a graduate completion and a career as a psychotherapist. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the 2012 Langara College Graduate Excellence Award in Arts and Science to Katerina Slater. The Langara College Graduate Excellence Award in Career Programs is awarded to the student graduating from a career program with the highest cumulative grade point average. The Governor General's Bronze Medal is awarded to the student graduating from a diploma program with the highest accumulated grade point average. And I am very pleased to present the 2012 Langara College Graduate Excellence Award in Career Programming and the Governor General's Bronze Medal to Laura Markle. Laura? Don't leave. They tend to run off, eh? Laura is a graduate of our early childhood education program with a GPA of 4.25. Now, Laura is described by her faculty as a remarkable student, dedicated to excellence in all she does. Throughout her time at Langara, she continually challenged herself while deepening her understanding of the unique and complex issues surrounding work with young children and their families. Well respected among her peers, Laura is a quiet and thoughtful leader who encourages others to voice their opinion and stand up for their beliefs. She plans to continue her education in child care as an advocate for children. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the 2012 Langara College Graduate Excellence Award in Career Programming and the Governor General's Bronze Medal to Laura Markle. Now, for this morning's Convocation speaker. I am very pleased to introduce the speaker to you this morning. Doug Sue is a well-known educator and community builder who has long served Vancouver and the Langara community. His achievements include service as Executive Director of the Britannia Community Services Centre in East Vancouver, and many years with the Boys and Girls Club of Vancouver, establishing programs for at-risk children and youth. He's also served on many boards and committees for a variety of organizations, including the board of the Canadian Cancer Society, the BC and Yukon Division. For all of this, in recognition of his community service, Doug was awarded the Canadian 125th Anniversary Medal. Doug has also been a leader in adult education, often standing on an international stage where his ideas have been supportive of many programs across North America. Most recently, Doug retired after 15 successful years as Dean of Continuing Studies at Langara. Over those years, Doug built a continuing studies community that has proven to be innovative, creative, flexible, and resilient. But I think most impressive is his never-ending focus on finding more ways to serve the many learners that come through our doors. Doug's leadership in continuing studies has grown to become one of the largest, most successful providers of adult education in British Columbia and beyond. And most importantly for any educator, it has served tens of thousands of learners and students and provided thousands of jobs while advancing the lives and improving the opportunities for all involved. Members of the Platform Party, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I give you our Convocation speaker for this morning, Doug Sue.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ross, for those very generous comments. And it is rather overpowering to hear those words. And I promised today that I was going to offer all kinds of old Chinese sayings. But then, of course, everything I say is an old Chinese saying. This is a particularly poignant time in my life because it's ending some 45 years of professional work for me. And serendipitously, you folks, you graduates, are going to be launching into your working career. But there's certainly some similar and parallel tracks because we're both ending one phase and moving into another. We're taking the things that we've learned from our past phase to stretch ourselves into new frontiers, into the next phase, albeit my will not be as ambitious or energetic as yours. Mine will be quite at a sedate pace. My wife will often say I should be sedated. But it is a very similar and a parallel kind of thinking. But what can a has-been say to a bunch of wannabes and will-bes that might be of significance or relevance? And I think maybe what I had to do is share my story. And in sharing my story, perhaps some of the lessons I learned might be of interest and might be of use. So, you see, the very first lesson that I learned was about being present. In our very hectic contemporary lifestyle, we rush from one thing to the other. You know, road rage is nothing more than someone trying to get away from the past, moving into the future, and ignoring what the hell's going on in between. And unfortunately, we happen to be the people often that are in between. But the now is a very, very important element. Just consider this particular moment that brought you here. That this moment that will never, ever reoccur. That this day is so special for so many of you. But it ought to be special for all of us as well. Because you can imagine converging at this one point in one place, these hundreds of stories, the stories that you bring. And there's an immense opportunity for us to learn from each other. And we don't take the time to do that, to celebrate. Yes, we have lots of issues and problems that are confronting our world, immense ones. There are species lost by the hour in our globe. There are certainly challenges in the environment of what we have created. There are human havocs that we have also generated, sometimes on purpose, sometimes inadvertently, the big issues. But we're not going to be able to solve those big issues if we don't focus on some of the fundamental lessons, the first of which is appreciating the now of what got us here that made us successful to this point, and then apply those same approaches to solve the problems. And we spent a bit more time to dialogue, to learn, to understand, and to greet each other and enjoy each other, then that certainly will allow us the capacity to move on major issues. In fact, often other people are just blurs. At this point, I'd like you to look at the people around you and give each other a big smile. Please do that to humor me. Okay, you can stop hugging now. I was a paper son. I'm telling you a story that I have never told before in a public forum like this. A paper son means that on paper, I was someone else's offspring. My adopted father, the man who purchased me, needed a son to perpetuate the duty of working and making money to send back to his family village in China. You see, just like the Looney Store products, I too was made in China. You must remember that in the 1950s, the communists under Mao Zedong consolidated and took control of power over all of China. Now, with decades of constant warfare, rebellions, natural disasters like famines and floods, there was little economy. Hundreds of thousands died from violence, neglect, starvation, disease, and suicide. Millions of immigrants from the worst hit regions, mainly the southeast part of China, near Hong Kong, dispersed throughout the world to labor as coolies in menial work. In Canada, these displaced souls went to mining camps, fish plants, railroad building encampments, logging camps, wherever there was work. When the communists took control, They seized the assets of property owners and well-off individuals. And my adopted father, along with tens of thousands of other men in far-off lands, lost their properties. This created the immense dependency by countless families in countless villages on the flow of funds from foreign shores, earned at the rate of sometimes $5 a week. And so I was purchased to perpetuate that duty. I was chosen at my age of 6, as my adopted father had journeyed back to his home village 6 years earlier. This made the paperwork somewhat plausible, that the declaration by the 64-year-old man was, I was his son, that I was meeting for the very first time at the Vancouver airport. And that was unquestioned by the immigration officers, because they thought, those Chinese, they breed like rabbits. Anyway, so he worked as a domestic for wealthy families, because that's all he knew. After he got to the age where he could no longer work in logging and fishing camps. And he worked in these families 24/7. Consequently, he farmed me out to different families to care for me. The wealthy families he worked for, the family size and the needs evolved and changed, and he would then be without work until he was referred to another job with another family. I would move back with him to live in some dank, dark, smelly back alley room in Chinatown. And so I was kicked around the east end of Vancouver, not knowing where and when and how I'd be living next. There was a lot of emotional insecurity, to be sure, but there was also an incredible amount of freedom. As most of the time, the couple that was supposedly looking after me were also immigrants and would both be working constantly. I had no spending money, and as I was on my own, I convinced a province newspaper distribution manager to let me have a try at a paper route. I was 10 at that time. And he was very reluctant, but I pursued him, and I was on his heels for 13 minutes telling him why he could rely on me. Because I knew every nook and cranny of that neighborhood, because we weren't all that great as kids, and so we were constantly into everybody's backyards and homes, sometimes without permission. When it shifted from afternoon to delivery, because the province paper was an afternoon paper, some of you might remember that, when it shifted to a morning paper 1 year later, that meant I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning, 6 days a week. I was able to keep the route because I argued that I had a whole year's experience and had the fewest complaints of all routes in that area, such as, papers being missing and soggy papers on rainy days and so on. So I got him to agree to keep the paper route. And I had a paper route throughout my elementary school years until grade 9, and each year getting more and more choice routes with better paying customers. That was my first lesson, the lesson about self, about knowing your strengths, sell your strengths, establish a solid reputation and build on it. That's a reputation that's stayed with me. Often we focus on what is wrong, what is deficient, what is lacking. Our bias towards a scientific approach, effective as it may be, tends to have us think of moving forward in solving problems. Fixing problems has us analyzing what is wrong. And we argue about our interpretation of what is wrong. We spend a lot of energy doing that, and frequently has us overlooking the things that are right, things that we do well. We could learn more if we were to identify the good, the inventory the best, practice the most successful, and then to isolate the errors, the mistakes, and what is missing in the way we behave and conduct ourselves. Erica Young, the famous feminist, said often we get into a competition for tears, which means we feed our own misery. What would happen if we flip this and think about the wonderful things each and every one of us do every single day, and that the 2 or 3 or 1% that aren't so great, relatively speaking, we can solve that. Well, the money that I earned gave me freedom as well to buy sports equipment, snacks, meals, go to movies, ball games. I never felt poor because I had lots of friends. Compared to other 10, 11, 12-year-olds who didn't have the income, when I had the money, I spent it. When I didn't, I did it without until the next month's payday. The freedom also gave me the opportunity to skip school and frequent a children and youth center on a daily basis. And even though I couldn't reach the pool tables, I tried my hand at that often. The Boys and Girls Club that Dr. Ross mentioned, that I eventually worked for, became my constancy, my home. There I met a man who became my surrogate father, my father figure. His name was John Ballum. And there the man gave me the main lessons that I carry for the rest of my life. The second essential lesson is a lesson about others. To look to those who care, because John cared. Caring people make things happen. The kind of caring that exudes concern and empathy that's genuine and natural, who look at it, another human being, and compassion is evident. It's not a put-on. A care that makes listening a searching, receptive process that invites dialogue, that opens thinking, that changes our understanding of things, and we learn. And that's what the process that we've been engaged in here at this place. Do you think that we emulate and pass along values and principles that influential people gifted to us over time? Would that be a wonderful idea, that goodness can multiply? That would be quite the guiding motivation of how we treat one another. My nomadic life, alternating between people I barely knew to odd spells with my adoptive father, lasted 10 years. I was in grade 10 when he died. I was on my own with no relatives. I was taken in by Fred and Mabel Green. I went to elementary school with his son, Archie, and he heard what had happened. So I went to his house, and Mabel said, "Why don't you move into the basement with Archie? There's room." And I had no other place to go, and so I did. So I lived there for a few years. My teen years were pretty tumultuous, challenging, as I had to constantly work to pay for my necessities. Of course, I also had to sort out all those typical challenges of being a teenager, of course, thinking that I had all the answers, and never did. I saw many peers seduced by the excitement and quick rewards of crime. John told me that I could curse the hand of fate that dealt me the difficult circumstances in which I found myself, and feel sorry for myself, blame others for my situation. And I had a perfect excuse for any pain I suffer, any failure that I would encounter. That's what he said I could do. But then he said, feeling for oneself, you could do it all alone. You'll be in your own misery. But to make a better tomorrow for yourself, I would need to support and the care of many individuals, and I need to reflect that care and attention back. So I turned to volunteering to help younger kids that actually were in worse situation than myself. This led me to leadership training and jobs at the summer residential camp, working with groups that gave me the next lesson about community. Problems are way too large, way too complex to deal with alone. We need each other. When you get a group of people together, something magical occurs. Energy, creativity, enjoyment are magnified. Things happen, things get done, change occurs. We learn the power and the joy of individuals working together. I'm sure during your career here, you've learned that many, many times. Margaret Mead, the famous anthropologist and social commentator, said that never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed people could change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So think of your accomplishments and which ones came out of your own solitary brilliance. Which ones emerged from collaboration and interaction within a group? We are who we are because we are social animals. As espoused by Alfred Adler, the famous social psychologist, who is known as the father of personality psychology, is the context who we are in relationship to the people around us that makes us human. It is a holistic view that is foundational to the notion of social responsibility, that the plight of our fellow human beings ought to be a concern for all, that we are all inextricably linked, that while we pursue our individual dreams, it is a duty to care about and for each other. This is the meaning of community, and this leads me to the next lesson, the final lesson. The lesson that as community, we rise and we fall. We may succeed individually, but if there are other parts of the community that are not doing as well, eventually we will also share in that pain. So it is an important aspect to think about. The lesson that we know and about each other, we learn. And that as we share this very special day, we need to emphasize the relationships that we have so that we don't skip past relationships, beauty, truth, in our hurry to be somewhere else. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why we call it a present. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doug, for that really inspiring address. We will now begin the presentation of our associate degree, diploma, certificate, and citation graduands. You may have noticed that a couple of times earlier I and others referred to the graduands here. So let me just say a couple of things about that word. Somebody who is graduating, is in the process of graduating, is a graduand. Somebody who has graduated is a graduate. So, you may be asking yourselves, where in this ceremony is that instant of graduation? Well, it is actually the president, as chief officer of the college, who ceremonially awards the credential, the certificate, diploma, degree, when he shakes the graduand's hand. So now I'd like you to listen carefully to the following instructions so that this part will flow smoothly. Graduands will approach the stage from my left, and somebody over here will be giving you a signal so that you will line up row by row. Graduands will approach the stage from my left, walk across the platform, receive that magical transformative handshake, have their photo taken, go down the stairs, greet faculty, and return to their seats by walking down the east aisle of the hall to the center aisle and then back up and then return to their seat. That's so that they're not walking right in front of the stage and blocking the view of everybody else, of the current graduand. Faculty who would like to congratulate their graduates may approach the east side of the platform. Audience members who want to move closer to the front to get a better photo of their special graduate may come up to the area at the east side of the platform. It's over here. Please remain in your seat until the individual that you want to photograph is in line to cross the stage, and then please return to your seat right afterwards so that there is room for others. Also, please use the aisle on the east side so that you don't block the view of the platform. Those students graduating with distinction will be acknowledged as their names are read just before they walk across the stage. To graduate with distinction, students must achieve an overall grade point average of 3.67 or greater in the final 60 credits of a bachelor's degree program, the final 30 credits of an associate degree or diploma program, or the final 15 credits of a certificate program. I will now call on Daniel Thorpe, Dean of Continuing Studies, to present this morning's graduands. Daniel.
Jasniel Cora. Been around. Kelly Jean Andrews. Sarah B. Lee. Leah Teresa Castillo. Wei Choi Chan. Ayaka Cho. Jessica Chu. Marco Basta. Kylie Gwynn McLeod Crosby. Mikhail Gainey. Augustus Kong Lone Say. Arvin Kier Eskenli. Yuria Kojima. Christine Faye La Riviere. Zenith Sophia Lowry. Christiana Michelle Murray. Hiroshi Onose. Claire Shannon Akawenze. Jerry Singh. Colin Edward Smith. Nikki Yuen Kui Tong. Eli Zabar. Camille Carbatuendo. Sumit Kumar Jasal. Ellison Liu. Mary Point. Chelsea Lee Scott. Anita Shi. Devashish Shrestha. Karen Van Ness. John Jacob Wiebe. Clarissa Ting Chun Wu. Associate of Arts in Canadian Studies, graduation with distinction, Ryan Allen Irwin. Hannah Ruth Hardy. Kelsey Christine Savage. James O'Day. Diploma in Arts and Science, Environmental Studies, Heather Louise Johnston, graduation with distinction. Diploma in Arts and Science, Family Studies, Lauren Patricia Matthews. June Gomez Williams. Diploma in Arts and Science, Peace and Conflict Studies, Cameron Michael Albert Hick. Robin Lee Savage. Associate of Arts in Women's Studies, Balbina Victoria Olkovich. Faculty of Science, Associate of Science, Derek Cho. Melissa Dawn Patton. Yumi Wakayama. Associate of Science in Computer Science, Jason Neville Ross. We don't have the certificate. You go. Actually, if you go down. Associate of Science in Ecology, Casey Leanne Moran. Tracy Deborah Watton. Associate of Arts in Health Science, Rose Fan. Diploma in Arts and Science, Aboriginal Studies, Nicole Janet Smith. Associate of Arts in Commerce and Business Studies, Ramiz Mahar El Akbar. Ernest Han Him Chan. Suzette Aquino Hernandez. Sun Young Park. Zhenyu Shi. Rochelle Aquino. Christy Lee Babi. Sadie Chen. Penny Chu. Caitlin Georgia Dunn. Yoko Fukasawa. Graduation with distinction, Kylie Alexandra Goldstein. Graduation with distinction, Stephanie Lynn Hart. Jacqueline B.K. Ho. Tara Lynn Inseth. Laura Christina Jansapar. Purnima Joshi. Graduation with distinction, Kimberly Po Chi Lang. Jennifer Sun Young Lim. Graduation with distinction, Laura Ann Markle. Colette Matei. Kaylee Ann Meredith. Arlene Della Fuente Ordonez. Stephanie Lynn Pierce. Caitlin May Pottinger. Amy Chi Kuan Poon. Helen Claire Schickerling. Stephanie Tran. Elaine Viada. Chun Yu Wong. Citation in Early Childhood Education, Special Education Post-Basic, Lisa Ann Aruda. Lena Chow. Christine Vicky Lee. Diploma in Education Assistant Coordinated, Lee Crawford. Kathleen Miriam Lehan. Frances Palais. Certificate in Education Assistant, Christine Anderson. Dorothy Yijing Chu. Harterinder Kaur Dillon. Carol Lynn Gomez. Chanel Marion McKibben. Paula Adrienne Muscardin. Melissa Pereira. Pascal Genevieve Schramm. Thank you. Graduation with distinction, Sheila Ferrales. Dion Tremblay. Samantha Jane Watson. Faustina Cien. Right there. Associate of Arts in Geography, Alex John Scallon. Associate of Arts in Psychology, Carolina Alvarada. Nadia Kimberly Cariel Marina. Sarah Christina Ho. Justin Chi-Hin Liu. Elaine Elizabeth McGowan. Ava Margaret Ruth Russell. Thanks. Graduation with distinction, Katerina Amelia Slater. Yuka Urara. Graduation with distinction, Janet Marine Watts. Lisa Van Cole. Wei San Oyung. Nora Vasallo. Kelly Gordon. Angela Lowen. Maria Vysotskaya. Janet Dewar. Janet Wingman Lai. David Chu. Tatiana Miranda. Minaz Lada. Norberta Vitug. Maricel Hernandez. Lirio Castro. Diana Green. Luis Javier Fonseca Oribe. Sophina Chandler. Susan Edelstein. Heather London. Suzanne Duclos. Carlos Alberto Canizares. Cameron Passmore. Wenwan Zhang. Jennifer Harder. Cheryl Mins. Holly Hames. Jocelyn Mins. Tia Ball. Harinder Kaur Dahan. Anne Frances Dobby. Susan Angela Lightheart. Manjit Kaur Tandy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me with your applause and cheers in congratulating the graduates of 2012. Just before I bring this morning's ceremony to a close, there are a few thanks that I would like to extend and a few announcements. First, I wish to extend a sincere thank you to each of you for joining us on this very special occasion. Most of you are here today because of one particular person, one particular graduate. You've probably spent considerable amount of time providing support of all sorts to that person throughout their studies, and so their success today is also your success, and I would like to extend my special congratulations and thank you to you all. As well, thank you to all the college employees, students, and volunteers who have contributed to this memorable day. I'd also like to say thank you to our theatre arts students, Joy Castro, who sang O Canada for us today, and Masay Day, who provided the music prior to the ceremony. Now, I would like to invite the graduates and honored guests to attend a reception being held by the college and the Langara Students' Union in the Langara Students' Union building. As you exit the Convocation Hall, you'll be directed to the reception area. In addition, there is signage outside of the Convocation Hall to direct you. For anyone wanting photographs, Artona will be taking photographs in G109, room G109, which is on the top floor of this building. Graduates, would you please return your gown to the gown room immediately following the ceremony and definitely prior to going to the reception. We don't want to get cake icing all over your gown for the next people that have to wear it. And I'd like to ask the audience to remain seated while the graduates proceed from the Convocation Hall. Once the graduates and the platform party have left the hall, guests may follow through the southeast and northeast doors. That's, which way is east? There, those two doors. And then they can meet their graduate in the reception room. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us.